So is it just me, or does childhood nowadays seem overly complicated? Does it make you yearn for the good old days when we were kids, when you didn't have cell phones, you barely had the internet, and you just spent all day riding the streets with your friends? Those were simpler times, but one way that you can share that simplicity with your kids, even nowadays, is a bike like this. This is the Trident by Cubsala. It's a BMX bike that harkens back to the simplicity that we enjoyed in the good old days. So today I'm going to show you the little bit you got to do to get this bike up and rolling when it arrives at your front door. And then we're going to take it on some test rides, and then I'm going to tell you all about the features of this bike and why I think it's the simplicity that you want to share with your kids and just get back to the good old days. So stay tuned. But real quick, if you're new here, what's up? I'm Jeff. Welcome to my backyard. This channel is fun-sized adventures where I'm all about trying to help parents like you build some backyard fun while keeping it on a budget. So first up, let's quickly go through what you got to do when this arrives at your house and you're excited to get going. So the company actually has a very detailed assembly video that will tell you everything you need to know about it, and I'm going to link that at the end of this. Today I'm just going to cover how long it takes from opening the box to assembled bike. So that was 23 minutes all told, putting the wheel, the seat, the handlebars, even the reflectors, and adjusting the brake to the proper level. Now the rain's coming on, we gotta get packed up and undercover, but we're gonna be testing this over the next few weeks, and then we're gonna bring you our results. And then once that rain let up, we got right into the testing. Now, as you saw in that montage, we tested it on a variety of terrain, including on the roads, on some gravel trails in our backyard here, and then also at a local concrete skate park. And other than a couple scratches in the paint, this bike has held up great over the course of the month or so that we've been testing. So now let's go through some of the different features this bike has. It comes in 3 different sizes: a 20-inch tire, a 24-inch tire, and a 26-inch tire. This is the 26-inch version I have here because I got it for my older boys. This version is good for people 5 foot all the way up to your adult. The 24-inch version, which is good for about 4.5 feet and up, and then the 20-inch version, which is good for about 4 feet and up. You might notice that all of those size ranges go and up, and they don't have a top end range. It's because BMX bikes can be ridden by anybody. Might remember watching the X Games when you're a kid, and you have people either racing on a dirt track or at a skate park, and people up to adult sizes ride even these small 20-inch bikes because more easy to manipulate and do tricks. And especially if you get into racing, there's different classes where you have to ride certain size bikes. But that means that unlike a mountain bike, adjustments are done more with your body and not your bicycle equipment. For instance, if you're on a mountain bike and you want to pedal as hard as you can go, you want your seat as high as you can go with your toes still on the pedals. But with a BMX bike, you want the seat down and out of the way pretty much all the time. If you want to get really going, you're going to stand up and pedal. So that's one big difference here. Actually, when I was 16 years old, I bought a bike very similar to this, and I rode it all the way up until I was about 30 years old. I had a blast with it, and one of the main reasons, like I started the video with, was that it was just simple. It doesn't have gears to shift. It doesn't have anything unnecessary, really. It's just bare bones, and it just takes all the complication out of it. And there's something that's really beautiful about that in a way. But yeah, so you can see here, we've got handlebars. It's got nice rubbery grips on here. It's got the handbrakes, which I believe are aluminum alloy, as well as the back brakes here, which are V-style brakes. As I've mentioned in other bike reviews, V brakes are much preferable to like C kind of clamp brakes. Not as good as disc brakes, but on a BMX bike, you're just not gonna have disc brakes because you might be doing tricks back in that area and you don't want to get cut or bash up that disc. But these provide plenty of stopping power. We've got a nice heavy duty stem, which looks like it's gonna hold up to the abuse. You see the BMXs are gonna have a straight up fork here that doesn't have shocks or anything, but that's because they're a BMX bike. It's got the black spokes. The black spokes might be my favorite part. It's a nice touch, kind of sets it apart. Most bikes have silver spokes. Now the frame itself is a high-ten steel frame, so it's not going to be super light like an aluminum frame, but you want a super strong frame for a BMX bike. So that's probably why they went with this. Even said, that doesn't push the weight too high. This bike was just over 30 pounds, and this is for the 26-inch version. So if you had one of the smaller versions, it probably would drop a pound or two each size. I don't have them to weigh myself, otherwise I would. But hopefully that's more information than you've been able to find anywhere else. Then as we mosey on to the back of the bike, we got a nice squishy seat. I enjoy all these bikes by Glurk, or this one's by their sister brand, Cubsala. They have really nice, comfortable seats. You won't have too much trouble sitting on that. It has nice grip points for your hands as you're carrying the bike around and stuff. And then it doesn't have a quick release on the seat, so that's why, like I said, you kind of set it and forget it when it comes to the seat. You're not going to be adjusting that a lot. You're going to need an Allen key to do that. It has a kickstand down below there. It has one-piece cranks, it looks like. Some higher-end bikes might have three-piece cranks, but it has one piece, but that should be fine. Plus, it has a 36-tooth sprocket up here and then a 18-tooth rear hub in the back, which is kind of the perfect gearing for a one-speed bike where the front is about double what's in the back. That means you're going to have plenty of power to accelerate as you're going down a hill, which in BMX style, you want something that has a punchy gear so you can really get up to speed. But if you're going up a steep hill, that's where it kind of struggles. But that's just basic for any BMX bike. That's where it comes into play, like I said earlier. You're going to stand up and really start putting your weight into those pedal strokes if you're trying to climb a big hill. And believe me, for 14 years I rode a bike like this. I know all about that. I had plenty of experience. Has nylon, I believe, platform pedals here. And they got little nubs on them, which are the nylon as well. Plenty of traction on there. And then back here on the back, you got a couple of pegs. Now, if you're going to be using this for racing, you probably don't need those, which you can just screw them back off. Super simple to take off. But if you're going to be learning how to do maybe some BMX tricks, those would come in handy. Another thing they come in handy for, and why I think this bike has like a lot of nostalgia for me, is you're cruising around the neighborhood with your friends. You have a friend who maybe doesn't have a bike, or you're just picking somebody up. It can almost become a taxi service where they just stand on the pegs, hold on your shoulders, and away you go. That just throws me right back to hanging out in the neighborhood when I was a kid. But then, as always with me, let's get to the numbers, the pricing. Currently, as I record this, the 20-inch version is a little over $200, and then the 24 is about $250, and this 26-inch version is about $280. Now, that's comparable to pretty much any bike of this quality you're going to be able to find. You might be able to find something cheaper at a big box store, but like I always say, I really don't recommend buying a box at a big box store. Buying a bike at a big box store. This is a brand that I've worked with before, and while they're not your like top of the line bike, they're definitely head and shoulders above the stuff you'd find at a big box store. They do a great job of walking that line where they're keeping the price as low as possible while delivering you all the quality that pretty much every kid's gonna need. Now, obviously, if your kid's a prodigy who's doing like all kinds of crazy stuff, you're probably gonna want a higher end bike, but realistically, let's be real about this, your kid's probably nothing special. I say that as my kids are right behind the camera. But for the most up-to-date pricing information, check out the links in my description. They'll take you to the website where you can purchase this if you so choose. Those are affiliate links, so if you do choose to buy, my channel will earn a small commission at no extra cost to you, and that will just help keep the lights on here. Plus, if you use this code right here at checkout, you'll save an extra $10 off your purchase. Between that and usually that website has free shipping on the bikes. So that means we're helping you save some money all along the way. And that's what I like to do here. But if you're looking at this bike and thinking, yeah, it's great that that's simple, but it's not quite what I'm looking for. Maybe your kids are super young and you need a good first pedal bike. Check out this video right here. Or maybe they're more into mountain biking. Then check out this video right here. Until next time, get outside with your kids, cruise around the neighborhood on your bikes, just like in the old days, and have a fun-sized adventure of your own. See ya.